Hey Empoweristas, it's Alex Worley, the founder of Empowerista, and I am joined by Jen Hacker. She is the creator of Toast Meets Jam.
Yes.
She is celebrating female founders and helping them build their brands, which I love. There is so much synergy between our brands. I've been wanting to meet you forever, so I'm glad that it finally happened. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me on here. I know you're just talking about how there's so much crossover between what we do, and so always on social media, we see each other going to different events or hosting events or just knowing the same people. So this is fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing about social media when you do build your brand is it's easier to find like-minded people and have them find you. So that's kind of the beauty of what we're talking about here is opportunities are born when you really are clear on your message, who you are, what makes you stand out, and present that to the world, right?
Absolutely. Like building your personal brand, it's not just about you. It's not a narcissistic thing to do. It helps people find you. It helps you find amazing people, build connections, build community. So we're going to talk all about that.
Yeah. And to your point, it is so much more than you. It's an opportunity to spread your message. And I know Empoweristas and a lot of the people in your community are very purposeful.
Yes.
And so they have a bigger message to share. So you have to be clear on that message. But before we dive into all those juicy details and how to do that, let's talk about you for a second.
Yeah.
Tell everyone, what is Toast Meets Jam?
Sure. So Toast Meets Jam is my personal brand. It is all about helping women build their brands. And my background is in brand building. So my first job out of college was with Procter Gamble. I was brand manager there. I went on from there to work at different startups and helped them build their brands. And always on the side, I just had this real passion and draw to help women. And for me, that came from just wanting to see more of them in positions of power, wanting to see more women take charge of their life, to be, to just be doing what they love to do. And I found as I was trying to navigate my own career and I was going online and I was looking for examples, I wanted to find interviews and I wanted to just see women who I could try to model or learn from. I just couldn't find it. Like I couldn't find it available. And this is a few years ago. I think the women's movement has changed a little bit now, but when I started getting into the digital space and creating content, I mean, this was 4 or 5 years ago, I honestly couldn't find anything. And so I felt really compelled to create content, to give women an opportunity to talk about what they were doing so that we could see it, not only give the women who were doing it the platform, but to give other women who were in my same boat, who were looking for examples, a place to find them. And so I started sitting down with women over brunch and asking them, what is that you do? And how do you build your personal brand or your business? What is it? And really created that out of this personal need. And then just decided at a certain point, I really need to marry this passion I have on the side with what I'm doing professionally, and not only show these women, like not only create content about the women who are building their brands, but also give that actionable advice and all the things that I was doing in my day-to-day job so that we could start to empower even more women to take ownership and really feel prepared to be themselves and step out on their own.
Oh, I love that.
So that was a long way to say it. But
no, it's perfect. I feel like you gave people a good snapshot of what Toast Meets Jam is, and you're such a good example of turning your side hustle into your main hustle. And that is what's so cool about building a personal brand is you can do it while you are working for somebody else, because you don't have to monetize it yet. In fact, doing the work to add value to your audience, build your audience, really hone in and what is your voice, what is your message, that work is the most important. And it's what should really be done first, in my opinion. And it's something you can do when you're working for somebody else. So whether you're an entrepreneur working for someone else, even if you don't even have any aspirations of becoming an entrepreneur, this helps you make moves in your career. So if you could speak to that, what is a personal brand and how can it help you in your career, regardless of what field you're in?
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. So for me, a personal brand is really about drawing out the parts of yourself that you really want to be known for, professionally. What is it that you care about? What are your values? What are you good at? And how can you put those on display so that people know what they can find and go to you for? So whether it's for work or like we talked about partnerships or friendship, they know what you're about. You always want to be someone people can think of on top of their mind. She's the girl that does interviews with women entrepreneurs, or she's the person who's really passionate about, being vegan, or she's the person who really loves to DIY and make things.
You want to be the go-to.
You want to be the go-to person, and that translates whether you're trying to be an entrepreneur, whether you want to do some freelance, or if you're in your career. And I think about too, as I was building up Toast Meets Jam, I was in a career. And like I said, initially it was about just me having a passion that I wanted to sort of fulfill and learn more about and get into this space. And I also started to realize that by exploring how to create content, how to help women build their brands, I was picking up a lot of skills that I was able then to apply to my job. So I was learning, how do you tell a story? How do you talk to someone about creating their brand? And then in that, I was able to go back to my company and say, well, actually, now I know how to do this, and you can go to me for this. And oh, well, I have like an example of I created a video, or I've run social media, or I've done a blog post, and I just did it for myself, but this is what I learned. And the skills translate. And so being able to figure out who you are and what your brand is about, that can absolutely apply to your work inside of your career. And whether it's staying with the same job or it's trying to go to a new one, we also talk about when you're building your resume is a story. People should be able to look at it and get an idea of like, who is this person? It's not just meant to be a list of things that I happen to like or things that I've done. It's really meant to be like, this is who I am. Here's what I can do.
Less is so much more when it comes to things like a biography, a resume, all that good stuff. Using you as an example, you became known as the brand building person in your company when you were working for somebody else. And you probably have a lot of skills. I know you're very, very dynamic. You're probably a great writer. You're great at social media. You're a good people person. And you could list all of those things, but then your company wouldn't know, okay, but what do we want to use her for? Where is she going to add value most? By leading with, I'm a brand builder, then people get that.
Exactly. So I say, I love to cook. I love to work out. I love to host and entertain. And then with Toast Meets Jam, I'm writing, I'm creating content, I'm blogging, I'm creating videos. But if I were to just tell you, oh, I'm the person, I can cook you dinner, or I can host you at my house, or I can write you an article, people wouldn't really know what to do with that. And by saying, if you have a brand, I can help you bring it to life. That's much easier for people to wrap their heads around. And no, it's not all encompassing of every little piece about me, but this is about curating your brand. And that's the kind of the trick behind it.
Yeah, we want you to be you and all of you for all parts of you, but there's a time and a place, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone needs that girlfriend that they can show all sides to.
Exactly.
And, maybe you have a partner, your family, whatever. But when it comes to your professional life, you want to be intentional.
You want to be intentional.
And by the way, your brand may allow for showing some of those personal parts of your life or the messier parts, but it's really knowing where you're going. I think that's one of the first steps. What's your intention? What's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish from showing yourself on social media?
Yeah, exactly. And I think we kind of said it before, but it's really about figuring out what is your secret sauce? What is the special thing that you can bring to the table that sets you apart, makes you unique, that makes you memorable? And you were exactly right in using that word. It's all about being intentional. You're curating, you're really giving some people the best of you. And it's not to say that the other parts don't matter, but you just want to be really intentional.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about a little bit creating that secret sauce around a skill set. That's a really good place to start because it narrows down hugely. Like to be able to say that you are known for building brands, all of a sudden we know how you add value. But then within the space of building brands, there's a bunch of people. So you need to inform your tribe what makes you unique within that space. So how do we do that?
Yeah. And I think the thing that I've learned is the more specific that you can be, the better. And I've gone through this process with myself. When I first started creating content, I was creating content that I said, I'm the person who creates content about what it's like to be a 20-something-year-old. And you can come to me to get advice on anything that you're dealing with, whether you've got questions about your relationship or your career or your friendships. Like, I'm the girl that talks about 20-somethings. And that was okay. But people weren't really sure, didn't really get it. And then I really said, okay, well, I'm the girl that talks about, women and entrepreneurship. And that was still a little bit broad. And then I thought, well, what do I really know about?
Specifically bring to the table for female entrepreneurs. It's like, okay, great. I know my audience. Yes. My audience is female entrepreneurs. Right. But then what do I bring to the table?
What do I bring to the table? And then I thought, well, the thing that I do every single day is I help build brands. And I've been doing it for myself as well. I built physical product brands, and then I was building my own personal brand, and a lot of things overlap in that space. And that's where I realized, like, well, my secret sauce, my specific niche is really helping women find and discover what their personal brands are and bring that out in them and really learn how to not just say that this is what I am, but actually put it on display. How does that translate online and social media and the work that they're doing? And that was kind of the secret sauce. So I think it's just a matter of really thinking about how, what is it that you're really, really good at? How can you niche down to be very specific about who it's for and what you're going to do for them?
And I think finding your brand personality is so important too, because there are a lot of people who help build brands, but there's only one of you.
Yes.
And there's only one of you who says it in your way, delivers it in your way with your energy, your charisma. So it's really finding that unique personality. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. So I once listened to this podcast, and they talked about this concept of micro influence. And I think that this is a really powerful thing to keep in mind. So I think something that stops people a lot is they think, oh, well, I do this, but a lot of other people do that too.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That there's a market for it.
Exactly. And I could think that, oh, I build brands, but a lot of other people build brands too. But when you think about this idea of micro influence, so not many people are as famous as, say, the Kardashians, right? So for most
pretty
part,
much no one,
pretty much no one.
Maybe a few A-list celebrities.
Like a few, but pretty much not. Anyway, so you think about the people that you know, or you go, oh, well, I can name 10 people that already do what I do. But most people can't. Most people don't know that because they're not spending all the same amount of time that you are researching, reading, learning, like staying in touch in social media. And so they might have followings, and they might have people that have been attracted to them because of the way that they deliver their message. But that doesn't mean there's no more space for you. And so it's all about, like, there's absolutely 100% room for you to do what you do.
Finding your unique way of doing it.
And just do it the way you're going to do it, because you'll be able to attract the right people to you. I mean, you're not going to attract everybody, but no one is.
And that's the most freeing thing that I discovered was you're not going to be for everyone, and that's okay. That's a good thing.
And you can't
by fully being yourself, you're going to attract the right people and then push away the people that maybe you're not as like-minded with and are going to create that connection with.
That's it. It's your personal brand is as much as about your skill set as the way that you bring it to people. And you shouldn't try to be anything but yourself, because you will attract the right kinds of people to you. And I even, I just think about people that I know that are in the same space that I am. And I think that they're so famous and everybody knows who they are. And I was talking to someone this morning about one of them, and they stop and they go, I'm sorry, who?
I do that all the time too.
Who?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Right.
Because it's our world.
It's our world.
So you get so wrapped into it.
And that's fine. But it's always good to remember that no one's going to do it the way that you're going to do it. And you're going to always add something a little bit special. People are going to understand the way that you talk, the examples that you give. They're going to connect with your energy in a different way. And so your personal brand is just about, again, marrying who you are, how you can, deliver your message with exactly what it is that you can do for people.
Yeah. And there are far more people who need what you have to offer than people who are offering.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's something to keep in mind. If there's people doing it, that means that there's a market for it. So that should be
very
encouraging.
Yes. completely.
So I know one thing that you say is consistency is key, which I get behind you 100%. There's so many social media platforms that can be really overwhelming.
Yes.
It's a quick tangent. I think less is more. Start with the one social media platform that your tribe is on, and maybe expand from there. But I digress. Moving on to
I preach the same thing.
Yeah. Wherever you are, social media. Hopefully, you have a website. Maybe you're going there. Be consistent.
Yes.
Tell the same story, right?
Yeah. So I think about consistency in two ways. The first one is that you want to tell the same story and appear in the same way everywhere that people are going to find you. So I think about it like this. If someone Googles you, what is going to show up? Because people are going to Google you. They meet you, they're curious, they want to learn more about you. So they will either Google you or they'll find you on social media. And you want to be consistent in the way that you show up as a personal brand. So if you think about yourself as a brand, that means your logo is your headshot. And you want to be recognizable every time someone finds you. You shouldn't have different images or people go, I think that's Jen. I don't really know, but she kind of looks the same. So I think it might be the same person. Mm-hmm. That's confusing. Use the same image or something very similar. Similarly with your bios, explain yourself and what you do in the same way everywhere you are. So, if on Twitter or Instagram or whatnot, you want to have the same type of bio. And then the same type of message from place to place so that, again, people they start to get this image of who you are, what you're about, and there's no questions. They really understand it.
Yeah, it goes back to what we were talking about, leading with your skill set and leading with your personality, how you deliver that skill set, and making sure that everywhere people find you, it leads with those things. Exactly. And to your point about the headshot, choosing a headshot that represents that.
That represents who you are. Yeah. Exactly. It's like you're really building out a brand. And then the second part about consistency is that, nothing happens overnight. The way that things happen is just slow, steady, and consistent.
Oh, I feel
it is. It's just the way that things go. And again, it's just about starting to build up that foundation, create content, tell a story, but you just have to do it all of the time. I blog and I create videos and I'm on social media, and it's week after week after week. Mm-hmm. And there's just no shortcuts. It starts to build on itself, but there isn't a way just to go from I want to tell people that this is who I am, and then they're going to believe it. You have to really start to paint the story for them.
Yeah, because our generation, we're all about instant gratification. Yes. So that's one of the hardest parts is being patient. Yeah. Because I know when I first started, I put up one video and I was like, okay, do you love me? Great, let's do this. It's like, nope, quickly learned. You have to do it week after week after week and really build that relationship. And if you're new to content creation, I think that's the key. Is content creation is a way for you to show versus tell what you do and to really, really add value to your audience.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it doesn't matter if you're trying to do this because you want to be an entrepreneur or an influencer, or you just want to build it up in your own career. You have to find different ways to be able to bring the brand to life. Social media is a great way to do it. Creating content, having a blog is a great way to do it. But wherever you're doing it, you just need to know how to be consistent about it. And I think really, anyone who is trying to create a personal brand, having a website and having your social media set up and represented in the way that you want to be reflected is a smart move.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for all of your insight. Where can people find you and what do you want to plug?
Yeah, so you can find me at toastmeetsjam.com, anywhere on social media at toastmeetsjam. I'll always look like this or some version
You'll find
of this. This is what I look like. And if you go to my site, I try to make things really easy. I have a lot of blog posts you can read about building your brand, a free course, free email course on how to build your brand, all on the website. And then, when you're ready to take that next step, there's some great different tools and things. So just come check it out if you have any interest, if you're at all curious. And if you just want to follow me on social media, I'm always replying to people. And I was saying,
she's great on social media.
I love to actually make friends off of social media. So I'm always like, if you're in LA, let me know, let's get brunch. So
always brunch.
Always
I'm all
brunch.
about brunch. We need to grab brunch.
The thing. So I would love it, please. Yeah.
So fun. Okay. Lastly, I ask all my guests this: what is your definition of empowerment?
I think empowerment is feeling really free to actually do what makes you happy. and feel like you can be successful in that and not have to make it something that is, you know, on the side. And so I feel empowered. I'm actually creating content when I'm empowering other women, when I'm doing what I love. And that's my whole mission, is to give other people that feeling as well.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your purposeful work and for stopping by. So nice to finally meet you.
Thank you so much. This is so much fun.
You bet. Let us know what your definition of empowerment is using #EmpowerRista. Post it on social media. We'll head on over to your page, show you some love. And if you want more empowerment and brand building advice, head to Jen's website or mine, empowerista.me.